Hi, my name is Herminia Sanchez. I'm a sophomore majoring in social work at U of I Urbana-Champaign. Um, I been involved with social justice work and mostly like education and youth since I was in school. Different programs like student voice fellowship, um, and I want to do school social work. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's so funny because like we've known each other for a couple years and it's crazy that you're a sophomore. Like when I was thinking I was like, wait, is she? Oh my gosh, she's a sophomore. And then of course, like we I know seniors right now that are like SATs and college apps and it's and just even I don't know, just that whole process is so stressful. But then thinking of doing that during remote learning where you don't like have one-on-one help or anything, I can't imagine. I'm like, how did you choose? Like, what was your college application process even like?
Um, well, my school had a thing where you had to apply to school's minimum, including like CCC, and I kind of just applied to the ones and that I wanted. I would say U of I was my dream school, but I didn't really know how it would work. If I could afford it, but I still applied just and like students at my school, at my high school, I went to very good high school. They don't really get into U of I.
And what
In
high school was that?
Farragut High School.
Okay.
And then I ended up applying. Two students from Farragut got in the year, and I was the only one that went. So I was solo. I was solo at U of I. Freshman year, I had to make completely new friends, know everything by myself. And everyone, like, even if you're not someone, they'll always have someone on the side, going to their school. They could always reach out home. I was completely
Yeah. Yeah.
scared.
You're cutting out just a little bit for me. I'm wondering if it's just me or if other people hear. If you just maybe if people who are watching, if the sound is good or whatever, just comment. Um, Sometimes I feel like it's me because my reception in my place is so bad. Um, but yeah, that's a great point because I think that some people like purposely pick a college and it's like I really want to fly the nest, like I want to like have that experience of having to like have like a totally new environment, and some people of course want to like bring somebody with them or like at least like because you go away like for the dorm experience, like at least to have someone that's like with you. What is college even like, especially like now for remote learning?
Well, for the dorm life, I was originally in a dorm this year, but they ended up having like a grace period where you can cancel your housing contract if you want to, if you didn't want to go back to this. I canceled the apartment business just because there was a lot of regulations with the dorms. So right now at my school, they have a lot of people actually aren't single, but people do have roommates, and you need like special access to your building. You can't really be walking around too much. Like you have to have a mask on. If you even leave to the back, the dining halls are. I know that you go into the dining hall and do like a box with your food, and then you take it. Like you can't really stay there and eat. And I know a lot of students are like that. And also you can't really have friends over. It's just like very lonely. Like from students that I've heard their experience. I'm in class and they'll put us in breakout. We'll start like chit chatting. They're saying like they really hate it there right now just because it feels like they are up in there like the whole time. Like they have no other.
Yeah. So are all the classes remote? Like, are there any? Do you go to class at all inside, like in person?
I don't,
Okay.
but there is some students that have like um one or two classes that are on campus. But I think those are more like specialty classes that are like small, like 10 students or less, like 15 students or less.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, like yeah, and like some, some of those classes, that are lecture that you would usually have like with a bunch of people, I can imagine, yeah, there's no way to even try to social distance that.
I had a like three of the classes are 300 students, and even like the sessions are weird, no on their camera. And we know there's a lot of students, so it's not like they go in breakout rooms and talk. Like it's just straight up the computer teacher
Yeah.
teaching. And I feel bad for the teachers as well, like when they've expressed that they feel like nothing's happening in their class, like they're not doing enough. And I feel like when they see that the students aren't really, they can't see the students engaging, and they feel even worse. So yeah, for those bigger classes, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like you're learning in remote learning?
um, no, no. Like, I feel like at this point, I'm just turning in work. I'm turning in work, doing what I'm supposed to do, but nothing, except for like one of my classes, that's my social work class, but it's a smaller, like 50 people class, and we do have got rooms, and like we're always talking, so that helps.
Yeah.
But for the rest, no, it's just like you do all your work on your own time, you watch the lectures on your own time, so there's not really that like moment where you're like paying attention to everything the person's saying and taking it in.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about it yesterday. And it, I mean, I think it, like, when you keep bringing out, you keep bringing up breakout rooms, and that's like that's like probably like the best part of virtual learning, is at least to be in a breakout room so that you feel like you can have like small group conversation. But like, a lot of school systems like CPS, they're still like in Google Meet, where it's just 100% whole group, and like, I guess they try to do breakout rooms by having like different Google Meet links.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I can't imagine like learning in this environment in college or in high school. And then one of the things that was brought up was like just missing that, like that hallway interaction, and like, moving from class to class. Like, what do you miss most about just being in person in school?
Um, it's so much easier to make friends. Um, like you have the opportunity to look at the person beside you and like talk to them about the class. You can get their Snapchat, you can, like get help with work. Um, the professors, you can always stay behind and like talk to them for long. And like in some classes, they'll like cut the class as soon as it ends, and like that, I feel like social interaction is missing. Um, and also just like being able to see, like obviously when you're on Zoom, you could see everyone's reaction, but when you're in person, like I feel like you could feel more like the overall like classroom environment. You could, um, yeah, you could just feel overall the classroom environment. You can see everyone's reactions. I feel like people are more open to talking too because they see like everyone else. And sometimes, like I was gonna mention about the breakout rooms, like they're so much fun when people decide to talk, but also they could be the worst,
It could
where
just be awkward.
it'll just be everyone has their screen off. It's like six of you guys just like staring and not doing anything because it's awkward. Like it's hard to just talk to strangers without not knowing anything and not being able to see the reactions. Like that whole, it's just confusing to the
Yeah.
mind, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like being like on a conference call, except you're just on the screen. You're just like talking in the air and wondering if people are listening. Um,
Listening.
yeah, yeah. So how's it affecting like your social life, and like mental health? Like, how have you had to adjust?
Well, for U of I is a very social school. Like you go out at night on Green Street, one of the main streets. our little downtown area. So many students are out, like in big groups. Everyone's talking. You can go up to anyone. I feel like we have a really like community. You can go up to everyone and just talk. Like it's just like so welcoming. But like with the everything closed down and all of that, like that whole community feel like is kind of gone. I feel bad for freshmen that first of all are like locked in the dorm. They go out and they don't see anyone.
Yeah.
They can't even get like of course college life is not all hurting, but like if that was the situation where they can't do or they can't meet friends that type of way, and it's like you hang out with the same people. They're so much fun to hang out with. Like it just starts feeling like you're in this routine where you don't have anything new going on. Like you just feel stuck in a way. And then that's when I guess mental health deteriorates. Like a lot of students that are just feeling stuck in a way, like they're not doing anything. They just feel like they're just getting by, like doing their work, like how I said before, they're just turning in a sign, hoping that things get better and like that feeling of wanting to do more, wanting to go out and like play outside, do anything outside in places, like wanting to do that and not do like feel like it makes you, and it's like it's a very bad place to be, especially as a college student and like with everyone around you. That so draining sometimes. I feel like in the expectation of wanting more is like kind of like torturing us and
Yeah. And what do you mean by the expectation of wanting more?
like wanting to just have your life back,
Yeah.
like just have the liberty of, I don't know, not
Normalness.
fear, yeah, normalness, not being in constant fear that if you do a certain thing something bad is going to happen. Like all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What, so what are students doing? Or is U of I, does U of I do anything that actually helps to, like, in response to this?
So just recently, I think yesterday or the um the board like sent about like mental health and like being aware and like taking care of yourself to avoid, I mean, like obviously depression is going up, like there's coming, which is so bad for mental health. But I've seen a lot of students get more like active.
Mm-hmm.
I got a bike. I made my roommate bike.
Nice.
I see a lot of students going on bike rides. We have a lot of places around campus like gardens and our our whole culture area where they have like animals and stuff. I've seen a lot more students exploring that.
Yeah.
Um, so just like getting out more and like doing stuff that'll keep you busy
Yeah.
is been what I've noticed that people are doing. A lot of people are starting to go to the gym. Um, so I feel like a lot of physical activities help.
Yeah. And what did you say? I missed it. What did you say that was coming up that's really stressful?
Winter,
Ah, yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
when the seasonal depression hits,
Yeah.
different feeling.
What are you learning about right now that excites you?
um, in my classes or like about,
Just in general.
I feel like on social media will make it's probably like my like the snowball and like you just see stuff that like represent you.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that a lot more young people are getting into the spiritual awakening scene, like thinking more about the universe and like being present with your own existence and like all of that. I feel like a lot more people are talking about that. And it's like very exciting, honestly, like what that does, like mentality,
Yeah.
but also it's scary because I feel like that type of thing, those type of things are what's been kept kind of like in shadows for a really long time. So I want to see like what happens, like what's next. So that's been like I want to learn more about. I want to learn more.
Yeah, yeah. What's scary about it?
I don't know the way that like people who don't understand it will react.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't know, like people. It's very hard to adapt to change, I guess. And when you've been told that life is a certain way your whole life, and then all of a sudden there's people say like, look at your reality, like be present with yourself, and like see what it does to you, and all this. It's like no, like there's always be that option.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like of course in the when those type of things happen, then people label that's crazy, like more labels towards the young population that um keep them pressed, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely, and I don't know if it's like in response to COVID and all like the racial injustice and just like being in like an economic shutdown, like where people are just like prioritizing rest and taking care of yourself, or if it's like 2020, like I'm like all like 2020 just like is supposed to be like representative of like hindsight and clarity. Like I don't know, I don't know what's bringing all this, but I definitely do see that too. Like the draw to like set it like vibes and energy, and I'm like I feel like I was getting it from an adult standpoint, and then when I hear about it from youth, I was like, wait a minute. Like I like a while ago, I was talking to a sixth grader, and it was like one of the most interesting conversations I had in so long. But we were getting super deep in like subconsciousness and different levels of consciousness, and I'm like, how? But all this information is readily available on YouTube, on what?
TikTok.
Yes, yes. And I'm not on TikTok, but but there's probably a lot that I'm not being exposed to.
Mhm.
But she was definitely schooling me on different things, and I definitely had to take a dog walk and watch a YouTube video just to understand like what. But yeah, it's really interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's something that's so important because like having type of that type of mentality, you're just focused on yourself and like the like I feel like it brings out a certain like a different self love, self appreciation, and um also it's really good for your mental health. So like I'm also excited about that because I like want um young people to feel like not feel like they need to follow everything, like they have their own like person,
Yeah,
their own vibes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think you bring up a great point about like being brought up a certain way and then you're learning a different way, and it's that like I don't know, it's like that unlearning again, like unlearning with everything. That there's another way to think, or that there's another way to be, and that's not like 100% like selfish. And if it is selfish, like is selfish being bad? Like to what extent is selfish like being bad? But yeah, it's definitely a different time right now. Like what do you think like what where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Okay. um Hopefully we're still alive in 5 years, and I think definitely we're I want to do school social work. I need a master's for that, and I'm kind of not sure straight to grad school after um, completing my undergrad. Um, but that like if that does happen, then I would expect to be working already. Um, and just like seeing how the world changed, adapting,
Yeah.
and
Would you like to stay in the Midwest?
Yeah, I want to stay in Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard because Chicago is expensive, and well, I'm gonna have a social uh income. But like this is the population I want to, I want to work with Chicago Public Schools. I want to work in schools. I want to like do this type of work in the urban area. I
Yeah.
feel like I know um what it takes and what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious. Well, for my first question that came to mind was, do you see yourself getting your master's at U of I?
I would love to. I don't know how expensive that would be, but I would love to do that. I mean, I'm looking into, I know there's always a lot of programs out there that help like especially like brown women in like social work that like will help with grad school and stuff. I want to do more research, find something like that for me. So yeah, like I'm working hard. I'm trying to stay there, but I mean, I wouldn't mind anywhere else. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything that you wish you knew or looked into, like in the college search process, like now that you're 2 years into college, is there something that you wish you knew then, like if you were to give yourself a piece of advice like 2 or 3 years ago, specifically about college?
um, there's like so much that I've been learning, and I feel like younger me, my junior, was very scared, like scared that I was gonna go to college and people like constantly out to question me, to like um degrade me. I'm not sure. I never had anyone around me that was college. All I ever heard from college was from my teachers, and they would all say like, "You guys aren't ready. You guys are gonna learn when you go to college. Like, watch this with all this like kind of like negative comments that like put fear into students like head."
Yeah, definitely.
So I was like so scared going into college. Like I remember I was just for my orientation, I was visiting U of I for the first time since I accepted, and I was so nervous because I didn't know what I was going to expect. I was like, I really like just like accepted the school, and like I don't know. I threw up. I was so nervous. I threw up, and
Where did you grow up?
on the way there, oh my God, it was so. I've never been that nervous in my life.
Oh my God.
Um, and my mom was like, what's happening? I was No, I'm so nervous. I don't know how to explain to you what's going on in my head right now. I'm
Yeah.
scared. And it was like I going into my first college class, and it was like a really big lecture hall, like 7 students in there. And I was like, these people don't know who I am, where I came from. Like they don't know anything about me. And like I felt like as soon as I walked in the room, everyone would make a about me, and of course they did, but it was like my time to start all over, like believe in myself, like I was gonna learn new things, like, and I feel like I would have loved to know that before, like knowing that like I was gonna have that from the start, that I wasn't gonna be that whole time, that I was gonna make friends.
Hmm.
So yeah, just to relax, not be so scared.
Yeah, because before that it was very like fear-based thinking because of the teachers and not having like examples around you where you could like, pull off of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you just described kind of like the throwing up and like not being able to explain it to your mom. Like it just reminded me of like sending kids off to kindergarten or preschool. Like they don't want to let go, and then you gotta like let them on the circle rug. Like it's gonna be okay. You're gonna make friends, and like no, this isn't for me.
That's so like I don't remember being scared when I was going into kindergarten. Since I was young, I loved making new friends.
Yeah.
And like my mom was I think my mom was a really good, like, she was really good at telling me that, like, I was gonna make new friends. I was gonna have all these toys in kindergarten. That I was gonna have so much fun, and I did, and I loved. So yeah, maybe like going into freshman year of college, my like kindergarten moment. Like I didn't know how to start. I was gonna have a random roommate,
Yeah.
a year older than me. Like I was so scared.
Yeah, yeah. You said something about like part of the fear of the adjustment was like being in a new place and like nobody knows you, nobody knows where you came from. Like what was important to like front load to people like for them to know you and know where you came from?
I feel like um I wanted people to know that I worked hard to be there, and I did everything I could with what I got, because I feared that they would question like religions. I mean, I'm going to school with people that went to school in a different country, like had like 16
Mhm.
SATs. Like I didn't even have an SAT prep, and like I wanted people to, like, I didn't want people to just assume like if something was because I don't know, like I just didn't want to feel like I didn't belong.
Mhm.
So I always felt like I need to stress I worked hard to be there and that I could be there. But like I think what like a real that I knew was that like, not everyone has no story, and that people should be able to one, and that at the end of the day, like if someone is questioning you like that, if someone is making you feel bad like that, then you don't need life. Like, why would I want to be associated I think like that about people that come from where I come from?
Right. Right. Yeah, I did not go away for college, but I could totally imagine how it could be like a culture shock. Like you even when you stay in the same state, like you're now surrounded with people that are from everywhere, everywhere. And especially, you know, U of I where like you said it attracts people from all over the world and you're just like, what is my place here? Like um
Yeah.
what do you, how often do you come to Chicago? How often do you come back? And what do you miss most?
Um, so this year I'm actually in Chicago right now. Um, and this is my first time coming back since August, but I was supposed to wait till Thanksgiving break, but I just didn't want to anymore. I, I just needed to and stuff. Like I'm so glad I did because I like it's been a really good mental break just by doing little things. I got in my car yesterday and I was like, I don't know where I was going, but I was like listening and I was singing and I was driving and I was like, this was like a way for me to relax myself. And I was here and I didn't have that. And like that small thing, like centered me, like helped me.
Yeah.
I'm so glad like I came. But other than that, like I try to come when vacation.
You try
So
to what?
I try to come mostly on vacation, like Thanksgiving break, winter break, spring break. Um, just because like I feel like if I come for like 2 like I rarely get to see my mom. Like she's always working. I
Hmm.
see her a little bit. Feel like I don't have enough time like what I to do when I come to city. But I feel like I would visit more than what I do.
Yeah. So you said that you were supposed to go back in August, but you just decided to stay. Is that what I heard you say?
Uh,
In
wait.
Chicago.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
No, no, no. So I went back to school.
Hmm.
And I'm living there now, but I just came this week just to visit and stuff.
Gotcha. You came this week to visit. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So when do you go back to campus?
Sunday.
Okay.
My mom's taking me down.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's a long, if I remember, that's a long drive, right? Like, is it, how many hours is that?
It's like 2.5.
Oh no, then no. Okay, yeah, it's not that bad. I think I remember it being longer. I remember taking the drive. Remember that year for the solar eclipse, and I remember seeing like the markings for Champaign Urbana, but then I still had like 3 more hours to go. But um, yeah, I guess it's not too bad, but it's definitely worth coming up if you can get like that relaxation, like that feeling of like being centered. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah. Um, what is really important for you to like, is there anything on your like, I want to get this done, or I want this to happen in 2020? Like maybe not necessarily like um a New Year's resolution, but like I would like this before 2021.
Okay. I'm not sure. I think I just want to be okay. Like I want to like take time for myself, care of myself, just so like my mental health gets better.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm also trying to lose weight. So I hope like I'm able to stick to a routine of them
Yeah.
for like before 2020 that I could keep going. So yeah, I think that. Do you have one?
Oh, good question. I yeah, like I tend to ask people questions and I haven't thought of my own answer. Um, before 2020, I'm 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 trying to like get multiple, that whole like multiple streams of income, like not just like
Mhm.
um have a job, or you know what I mean, like just thinking like I, I don't, have investments as much as I would like to. So I guess that's something that I really want to commit myself to 2020, is like at least be able to say like I have 3 streams of income. I guess that's one of the things that I would really like. They don't even have to be like huge money making things, but just to know like I'm on that route of like coming from just not just one place. Like the other times that like I feel like the other times I've had multiple streams of income, it was like, yeah, like having 2 or 3 jobs though. Like it takes me like being there and earning that money. But I guess what I'm focused on is like passive income, like wanting to like focus on passive income, like just listening to YouTube videos and subscribing to certain things, and like just hearing how other people are doing it, and just like seeing like what makes sense. Because some things it feels like, oh yeah, you just watch some things and you learn. It's like, no, but it doesn't feel, certain things don't feel natural to you, and I don't want to feel like I'm like, it's not like with my lifestyle. I don't know if
Yeah,
that makes sense. But I definitely, especially in this remote world, like I don't know how long this is going to last. And I don't necessarily want to be on the computer all the time to have to like make money. I would love to think about passive income. I would also like to travel. It doesn't have to be to another continent, but just go somewhere, like take a vacation. Yeah, see something new and different. Yeah, I would say that those are the things I definitely want to focus on.
yeah, I want to. I'm going to Mexico.
Ooh, tell me about Mexico.
Yeah, so I'm going to Mexico in December. My mom's building her house over there. So me and my going and like checking out and like just like hanging with my grandpa. I haven't seen my grandpa in a really long time. Um, and I'm excited, but when I go there, I want to be able to go to different, like I did live there for like 5 years, and
How
but
old were you when you lived there?
I lived there from um 8 to like 13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that whole elementary thing. Um, but I was always at the same places. You know what I mean? So I really want to visit the pyramids, the Mayan pyramids, um, and like just
Is that really far, or like where is it in relation to where your mom's building a house?
it's probably like 3 hours, I think. So it's not that bad, but it's just like we would have to find someone to take us just because like we don't really know any places. But I mean that would be easy. I'll like an uncle or something.
Yeah.
I want to learn more about. Like I'm really interested about how do you say? I don't know how to say it in English. In Spanish, it's called artesanía.
Okay.
Older, like all the artsy stuff, I guess.
Yes. 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 The artisan, like artistic things.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine going to the pyramids, like, and just sitting and it just being so calming. I don't know.
Like I feel like I'll cry. Like I could cry right now. Just imagine like what I'm gonna feel. Like I want to visit those places. Like in a way I belong there just because like I feel it in the heart. Like it's sometimes hard to be like Mexican American. Like over here, like I'm not American, I'm Mexican. Over there, I'm not really Mexican. So like I feel having that connection to that type of that part of the Mexican culture helps me feel more
Yeah.
than I am.
Yeah. Yeah. You bring up, I was speaking with a friend on Tuesday, yeah, a couple of days ago, and she was talking about how her parents are moving back to Mexico, like in the summer, like in June, also to go to like a house that they built but they like haven't lived in, and her sisters and her brother are like figuring out like, okay, where's everybody gonna go then? Just just using this time to figure it out. And she's really loves cacao and drinking chocolate, and like her dream is to like live on or run a cacao farm in Mexico, like in South Mexico. And I was like, this is the opportunity to do it. Like even if you don't know you want to move there yet, like take this time and check it out. And but she was bringing up how like living here, like she just feels like it's not like she can't adapt to the culture. Like it's like she just doesn't feel as authentic as when she's in Mexico. And even though she hasn't been in, like she hasn't lived there in a while, you know what I mean? Like, but just something that you mentioned, it reminded me of what she said, like just not feeling as authentic or feeling like culturally more like comfortable there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting point. If you could have a plane ticket to go anywhere tomorrow, where would you go?
Like
A round trip ticket. You can come back, but
okay. Like here in the US or like
anywhere,
uh,
anywhere.
um I, I, w- I really want to go to the Jersey Shore just because I've been watching a lot of Jersey Shore and I could go there, but like um if it was like inside of the country I would go there. But also I have there's this song by Lalfa that's called Singapore
Okay.
and it like inspired me to go to Singapore. Yeah, I think those would be the two places I'll go to tomorrow.
Jersey Shore or Singapore?
Yeah.
I think that's good.
You?
If I were to go anywhere, I would definitely go to the Philippines.
Mm.
Yeah, I haven't been in a long time, like 16 years since I was like 16. But when I was a child, we would go every 3 years because my mom would have to pay taxes on this plot on this lot that she would get. So we would just use the opportunity to go every 3 years. So it's like, yeah, I would definitely go to the Philippines. And I feel like part of the fear when you are used to going someplace regularly and then you don't go for a while is like, how different is it gonna look? And like mountains that were mountains when I knew them, like, are they still mountains or are there like condominiums there? Like they're like, I'm just wondering like what certain places look like. But I would definitely go to the Philippines if it was out of the country. And then in the country, California. I want to see like the redwood forest, like the huge trees that I see in National Geographic.
Mhm.
I would want to go there. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm I'm looking at my okay. So I know you're not like in your dorm. You're like at in your Chicago home, but grab something that is within arm's length and it's like and like a show and tell, like something that is within arm's length. Do you have
Okay.
anything?
I guess. Look,
Oh, okay. Okay, what is the meaning? Or what does it do for you?
it's just warm, warm, and my best friend and I have matching ones. Actually, this is hers,
Oh,
and I have the other one. Um, and this is really warm. It's just nice. It's like a not really a typical blanket, kind of like a little Mexican blanket.
yeah.
But yeah, that's the closest thing I have. I have like coffee and a pen. Oh, I have my Chicago Freedom School pen.
Oh, let's see. Oh, I see it reversed, but I can still see it. Nice.
Yeah, I got this when I was doing a training on trauma informed teaching for like college, no, high school and middle school,
Mm-hmm.
and I got
And
it.
so what was that training?
So basically it was like a 7 week thing, but we met like every other
Okay.
on day for like a long time, like from 10 to no, it was like from 9 to like 3. And it was all like basically we were trying to first um train teachers into doing their lessons and like the way they treat students based on like knowing that those students carry trauma. And can you see me? I think I
Yeah,
cut
I can see you.
out. Just like creating lesson plans based on like trauma informed practice and like also like helping the teachers acknowledge their trauma and
Mm.
how their trauma affects what they teach, and like a lot of things that they don't realize that they do that could cause more trauma for the students. Yeah.
Yeah. So relevant right now. I was in a meeting with uh like it's like it reminds me of like a teacher version of SVAF. It's like the teacher advocacy group outside of CPS and the initiatives that they're trying to push, and like their initiative right now is social emotional learning and trauma informed practices, and having anti-racist and implicit bias training, not just for SROs and like the disciplinary staff, but like all the teachers, like all of these adults have access to these students. There's no reason why it's just the disciplinarians that should have this training, because who's sending the students to the disciplinarian? It's the teacher, and the teacher obviously has their own implicit biases and their own training that they need to go through. um, and you just bring up a great point that they brought up too in the meeting, is like they don't necessarily know like their own biases and how they're like re-traumatizing students by not addressing their own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like when that happens, it becomes a cycle. Like I always remember this one example of like a teacher creating the cycle of adultism and like trauma where they'll see like their young students being like heartbroken over a little relationship that they had in elementary, middle school, and telling them like you don't even know what you're going to go through. Like that's nothing. Like no, you're a little girl. You're a little boy. And then that suppresses their feelings. Like for I think a lot about like uh, um men and like boys, like a lot of like toxic masculinity, like where they feel like they can't they can't express it because that's just like what they've been told. Like there's more stuff to cry about, and like you should be tough and big, and like girls aren't all that.
Yeah,
This
suck it up.
like in their head that will only like mess them up more
Yeah.
in a way
Yeah.
for
No.
girls that they're just being dramatic. That's so bad because they're not. It's like the first heart. They're really going through what a heartbreak is for
Hmm.
them. Putting your own ideas on only like make it worse and stuff.
No, no, that's so true. That's so true. And I think it's like coming from a place of like you think you're wiser because you know like you've hurt more and you're like diminishing like, oh, this is nothing compared
Yeah,
to, you know, what you're about to go through. um but yeah, it's not in any way like coming from like an empathetic standpoint where like, do you remember when you were 12 or 13 and you know, like a friend moved away and like you're not like remembering what it was like at that age.
yeah. Like and I feel like that's something that's so hard on mental health. You are focusing on like suppressing the feelings so that you can go on and go instead of being present with the things you're feeling and understanding them, learning from them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this time has gone by so fast. I'm so glad that we were able to do this, that I was able to see you and for the first time like somewhat live
Yeah.
in a while. If you had like a piece of advice or like a golden rule that you live by or um like I don't know, an affirmation, just something that you tend to tell yourself or that you live by that you would like to pass on, or maybe that you tend to give friends a piece of advice, like what would that piece of advice be, your affirmation?
I think right now my go-to like piece of advice is like remembering that like we're through a pandemic and that although it feels like you're not enough, like you're doing what you can. And like you don't have to be at 100 because we're in a pandemic. Like we don't know what's happening. We don't know what tomorrow. Like, next week a whole new spread could come and like a lot of people will suffer, but it could also go away. Like we don't know. So
Yeah.
it's okay to feel uncertain of what's coming. And just like focus on being for now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really, really good advice. And I think that when you remind yourself that of that, it like can immediately recenter you because there's always this feeling of like, am I doing enough? Especially when you're like doing so much, but it's on the computer. So it doesn't feel like you're doing anything, but because it's not like you're working up an appetite or moving from place. You're just like clicking from tab to tab. So sometimes like I even forget how much I do because it's just literally in this one spot. It's not like I can say, oh yeah, I talked to this person in this office and then, you know, I met up with this person and we drove and da 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 da. You're just like, and so even though you're doing what you can do, it feels like it's not enough.
Yeah. It always feels like you have something that you haven't done.
Yeah.
Or it's just like that saying.
Yeah. 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 There's something missing and there's a lot missing. There's a lot missing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm missing.
Um, yeah. So closing question, what are you doing as soon as we sign off?
I'm going to return some shirts. Yeah, with my friend.
Ooh. Return shirts at Gap. Okay. Gap. Where is the only Gap I know is in Logan Square.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Okay. The
Yeah,
Gap outlet.
yeah, that's where I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, at least you get to go out and it feels kind of like shopping. And you're going with a friend?
Yeah. Mhm.
Nice. Nice, nice.
Yeah.
I think when I get off this call, I'm going to feed and walk my dog.
Okay. Oh, going on a walk.
Yes, walks have definitely been the thing for me to do, like just to remind myself, like, okay, I haven't moved in 3 hours, or like it's 12 o'clock and I haven't like, you know, left the house other than to walk Sarai. Um, so yeah, walks are so important. It's like the one thing that's easily accessible that you can do.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, Armenia, I hope that we do this again. This
Yeah.
was so much fun. The time flew by so fast.
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me.